guys, welcome to Viva Vegan. Today we're going to be cooking chili rellenos, which originate from Mexico, you guessed it. So traditionally this is a fire roasted poblano pepper that is filled with normally cheese. Sometimes it has different meats and things in it. Today we're going to be doing a twist on that and making it vegan. We're also going to be omitting the egg batter on the outside. So follow along and I'll teach you guys how to do a twist on this traditional Mexican recipe. So in this pot, I've put about 1/4 of an onion, 4 tomatoes, and 2 cloves of garlic, and I've just put enough water in to cover them, and we're gonna let that boil. And while that's happening, we're gonna start roasting our poblano chilies. So what we wanna do is we wanna get them as blackened as possible. So I'm gonna put these right over the open flame on my stove. You could also put these in your broiler, in your oven. And just flip them halfway through. Again, you're looking for a good char on them. The more black you get them, the easier it's going to be to remove the skin, and that's what we're looking for. So while those are going, and this is going to be my sauce for the chilies, I'm going to start on the filling. So I'm going to turn my heat on here to a medium heat. And I'm going to use a neutral oil. So for this I'm using avocado oil. You could use vegetable or canola. You could even use refined coconut oil if you wanted to. Okay, so for my filling I'm going to add my chopped onion. This is about half of an onion here. And we're just going to start sauteing this until we get it nice and caramelized. And that's what we're looking for on our chilies, is a really nice char and blistering. So I'm gonna put these in a bowl with a lid. You could also put these in a Ziploc bag or any kind of plastic bag and seal it. The steam from this is gonna make it much easier to remove the skins from these. I'm now gonna add my bell pepper. I've chopped this. And the great thing about this is you can really add any ingredients to your filling that you'd like. If it was summer, you could use some fresh corn if it was in season. You could grill it. I've done that before. It's really good in here. It's really up to you and what you like. I'm gonna add my chopped garlic. Add my beans. I'm using Great Northern beans. You can really add any kind of bean you want. You can do pinto, black beans, you could do Peruvian beans. They don't have to be whole like this either. You could do a refried bean if you prefer that. It's really up to you. This dish can be made however you like. I'm also going to add some quinoa to my filling. This is tri-colored quinoa. You don't have to add this. Again, this recipe is very diverse. You can make it however you'd like. You could use rice instead of quinoa. You don't have to add any kind of grain if you don't like. But I'm going to add a little bit of quinoa just to give it some more texture. So our tomatoes are ready to go in the blender. This is again going to be for the sauce for the chilies. So you're really just looking for the skin to start coming off of the tomatoes and they'll start splitting a little bit. So I had them boiling for about 15 to 20 minutes and you're just gonna put them in whole along with the onions and garlic that you have in here, and then we'll add a little bit of water as needed. I also added a little bit of bay leaf to this. We're gonna add some salt and blend that. you should have this nice blended tomato sauce. We're gonna pour the tomato sauce back into the pot. These tomatoes are pretty juicy, so I didn't have to add any of the extra cooking liquids to it. And then we're going to take some dried oregano and we're gonna rub it in between our hands to release the oils. And put that right over the top and we'll mix that in. And this is gonna be our sauce for our chilies. So if you need to add more salt to taste. But this is what our chilies are gonna go in. Okay, so now this is, to me, my least favorite part of doing this dish. So we're gonna peel the skins off of the peppers. Now if you're doing a lot of peppers or you think you have pretty spicy peppers, you might wanna use gloves. I've gotten chemical burns from peeling these before without using gloves when I was doing a lot of them. So you're gonna take the back of your knife. You can also use the front of your knife if the back is not working, and you're gonna get as much of the skin off as you can. And then we're going to cut a slit and get as many of the seeds from the inside out as possible. Okay, so now that the chilies have been peeled and de-seeded, we're gonna fill them. So I'm just gonna take a few tablespoons of my filling and pop as much of it in as I can. And again, you can switch this filling up to whatever you'd like. You can add some soy rizo, you could do meat crumbles. If you have other vegetables that you'd like more, you can add those in too. It's really just up to what you'd like. Okay, so now we're going to pour our sauce right over this. Typically with traditional chili rellenos, because they have that egg batter on the outside, they can be put right into the pot with the sauce. With these, since we don't have the egg batter, they're not gonna stay together and the filling would fall out. So I like to put them in a casserole dish like this. I'm gonna top these with some vegan cheese. I like Daya. And then I'm going to put it in the oven just to get the cheese a little melty, and then that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today on Viva Vegan. Please send me your recipe requests for a dish that you would like me to turn into a vegan dish. Thanks again for joining me. I'd love to hear what you thought of this recipe.